Hi and welcome to another edition of OnSide SA. I'm back in town. Budge and I are going to run through it. Budge is actually going to the Spurs-Arsenal game. He's going to Fulham-Preston game. He'll be leaving and Big Bodrum will be coming in to join me next week. But just to go straight into it, Budge, I've got the lists here. Yeah. 253 left from 631. We've only had 3 weeks.
3 weeks, Paul.
Wow.
And I tell you what, Aston Villa were lucky. I fancied them. I watched that game. They were hanging on at the end. Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's very, very interesting. I'm not going to touch on which teams went through because we did it. We're trying to give a special mention to some guys. We're going to run through them quickly, let you know who got the special mentions because. Some people haven't been able to get them, but I'll run through them quickly, Budge.
Yeah,
and you can tell me, Eric Redmond down the coast, Craig Booth, Gavin Nell, Alan Duplessis, Mark Jackson, Cliffy Bowen, I don't know him.
Yeah, Mark's brother.
Mark's brother, okay. Sean Singleton, he's going well. Derek Conway Snubby, Ray Lovett, going well. Him and Gavin Lane are both through. They're great mates, drinking buddies. Mark Haddon, the chemist, he's gone through. Robert Garner, the journalist.
Yeah.
Well done to Robert. Enzo Coppola, the top footballer, well done, and a very good site he's got here, Budge.
Yeah, superb.
Superb South African football. If you want to go there.
Trouble, Enzo. I was with him the other day, but he loves it.
He loves it. He got a great site. He must be complimented. Mark Marinkovitz, Minky.
Yeah.
Minksy, well done to him. Shane Botha, Sorrel, Garth Whitehead. How did he survive?
I don't know, Paul.
I can't believe Garth Whitehead's in. And he got a couple more. Clint Heap, he's always in the scrums.
Yeah.
Marshall Heap, going strong. A lovely man, his father.
Yeah.
Paula Heap, must be his wife.
Yeah.
Lovely. I know their cousin, in a heap. Greg Petz, my mate there. Michelle Narak, the TKO, still going. How can Whitehead and him still be in? Tubby Luckin, the legend. Peter Barker, Spursman. John Finlayson, he loves his football. Larry Weinstein, the boxing man, racing boxing man. Lawrence Werners, going strong. Mark Curry, another one of my great mates. Alistair McLean.
Ellie, short little Larry.
Yes. Dick Goss, Craig Felix, Colin Gordon, Wolves forever. Kevin Rice, good man. Paul DeCarmo, Dave Cohen.
Yeah, it's Alistair's father.
Oh, yes, I've met him before. And the last little bit under special mention is Manny Almeida.
Yeah.
Clayton Conway, Derek's son. Alan Costa.
Yeah.
Don Hamilton, hey, the good man, the man from Rannoch. He went to Rannoch in Scotland. They used to take on King Charles's school. Roger Bull, Mark Fullion. Is Roger Bull still throwing the
balls?
Throwing the balls. Breaks, Robbie Burns, the chairman. Poisey, Graham Prezane, Mark McManus, and Rodney Boyson.
Yeah.
Southampton Rod. So a lot of footballers in.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I kept the soccer guys for you.
Yeah.
So
now the former champions that are this is always, I didn't realise that Henry Noddy was a champion.
Yeah.
How is Henry?
Yeah, he's battling, Paul, but hanging in.
Send our best to Henry. Good man. Gary Citron without the E.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing well. Guillaume Nell doing all right.
Yeah.
Hassan Maul, yeah, he's always up there in the scrum. Gav Wright, he's the baseballer, he's going well. Brett
Gary, I went with him to the Liverpool-Man City game. Joburg, man.
Murray Dant.
That's who I'm going with tomorrow.
You're going to watch the Spurs as Arsenal. That's right, see that. The winner is going to watch Spurs, Arsenal. Well done to Murray. Sean Phillips. Greg Veal.
Yeah.
And Lance Whiteford. Derek Ramsey gone.
No, Derek's still in, but he's a UK man, so he's already had a previous mention.
Okay, so, Budge, there's only these teams left. Yeah. It's going to get tighter.
Well, there's 184 individuals still going out of the 251.
Yeah, and people say if you take a lot, you've got a bigger chance. When you go, you go.
Well, there's one with 10, one with 5. The rest are not many. 140 with one pick, Paul, so great opportunity.
Is Stevie B in or out?
He went out with Chelsea. He survived with Tottenham, went out with Chelsea.
Yeah, these bloody London clubs, they kill you. Well, let's get Steve in the line. Steve, you about?
I'm about, yes, exactly. I thought if I got through with Tottenham, it could be my year, but it wasn't meant to be.
Steve, we know you're in a rush, so we're going to get the betting up. We'll discuss the injuries during each game. But Man United were woeful against Liverpool, which we spoke about last week. Can you see them rebounding? In my opinion, this is the easiest away game in the Premiership, Southampton away. I know it's a long way away. But if United can't get a result at Southampton, he's in trouble.
No, I agree. and I think a lot of people, and I think there's a lot of pressure on him and the team because they were humiliated against Liverpool. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
And this is the sort of game if they had a game they could choose where they might want to go. But look, Southampton, bottom of the table, no goals. They've got nothing to lose. They have to have a go. Otherwise, they're going to start to find themselves falling adrift in a few games. I think United will win. But if they don't, you can just see the writings on the wall already. The knives will be out for Ten Hag. I don't know if you saw in the press here, Cristiano Ronaldo had a lot to say about United and Ten Hag in particular.
Was he complimentary or
No,
what?
he couldn't have been complimentary.
No, totally the opposite. Totally the opposite.
Yeah.
Would you take 8-10 United?
Never.
They should win this game.
They should. 8-10, lunchtime kickoff, first game back after the internationals. I think they'll win. I just don't trust them. I don't trust the manager. So while 8-10's inviting, not for me, Paul.
Okay.
Steve, Brighton, Ipswich. And what we've seen, Brighton surely have got to win this.
You would think so. I mean, Ipswich obviously are a work in progress. They had some of their new players in against Fulham 2 weeks ago, and by all accounts, it was a draw was probably the fair result. But Brighton have started really well, and I think that they've spent a lot of money. They bought well, and I think that you'd expect if they've got a full complement of players that they should win that.
Yeah, I think Brighton to win, both teams to score. I like Ipswich to have a full go. They can't sit back. 19-10. I think it's worth a bet. Crystal Palace, Leicester. What's the Aston Villa Leicester game last week? It should have been 3 or 4-0 to Aston Villa, but the longer the game went on, Leicester grew into it. I don't see them beating Crystal Palace. I think there'll be goals in this, Steve, but I'm all over Palace.
Yeah.
How do you see it?
I think so as well. No, I think so. I think Palace should be too strong at home. I know they lost to West Ham, but I've got a feeling they should be too strong. They've got sort of a bit of form at the moment, and I think that I saw Leicester. I wasn't overly impressed with them, but Leicester will give it a go. But I just think Palace. It's the sort of game Palace would expect to win.
Yeah, I think they're good things, Palace. Fulham, West Ham, Steve. This is going to be a good game. It's a pity I couldn't go to it. It's obviously running the competition, but I think this has got goals written all over it, Steve.
So why can't you go to it?
Because I'm meeting Neil Horsman for the Man United.
You should meet him at the...
we'll sort something out. But,
I'd go to that game. It'd be a good
Steve,
game.
I think there will be goals.
No doubt.
I think it'll be an entertaining game, and I think there will be goals.
Yeah, I think this has got 2-2, 3-all written all over it. I like what I've seen from both teams.
I think there'll be goals.
I think West Ham, even though they lost to Man City, I was impressed. It was 2-1 to hit the post. Now they got caught at the back. And Fulham always have a go at home. I think this will be a humdinger. Steve, Liverpool, too good for Forest?
12-1.
Oh, I would think so. I mean, Forest have had a reasonable start, but you'd expect the way Liverpool have started and the way they played at United. And again, I'm not aware they've got any key injuries that have arisen since the international break, and I think they'll carry on as they were. I think I don't think it's going to be completely one-way traffic, but I expect Liverpool to win by at least a couple.
Yeah, I saw Liverpool 12-10 to win both halves, 7-10 to score in both halves. I don't see Forest score. They'll have a go, but they're woeful at the back, so Liverpool comfortably.
Liverpool at home,
On to our second page, and I think another comfortable home victory for Man City.
Oh, I would think so. I mean, obviously, Brentford will give them a go, but they've had a couple of good home wins. But I really expect City to carry on. I mean, Haaland has carried on scoring during the week for Norway. I'd expect him to add to his 7 goals already in the Premier League, which is just unbelievable. And I just think that, I think they'll be far too strong.
Stevie, what has happened to Ivan Toney?
He's gone to Saudi.
Oh, is he gone? So it's official.
He's gone to Saudi, yeah. Very strange because, look, a year ago, before obviously, when they were talking about him leaving, there was a whole load of Premier League clubs were sort of lined up. But in the end, I think Chelsea was sort of linked, but nobody showed any real interest. So, and now he's gone to Saudi. He wasn't picked in the Euros in the Nations League squad for England. And I'm not sure we're going to hear a lot about him now. I think he's made his choice, and he's obviously decided the money is more important staying in Europe and fighting for his England place.
Yeah,
I think that's it for him for a while.
Yeah, he had no option. He was wanting to move and no one came in for him. So Brentford didn't want him. They wanted the money. So unfortunately, I like him. I thought United would go in for him. But,
for his country.
You know, I really like Ivan Toney. Steve, Aston Villa, Everton. You know, they said Aston Villa are so totally in control. But then the last few minutes, they were hanging on for dear life. Everton, I've got a couple of Evertonian mates who are just throwing their toys out the cot. They can't believe 2-0 up. He took his best 2 players off and they lost 3-2. Aston Villa surely have got to win this.
Well, you would think so. I think he's under a bit of pressure. I watched an interview yesterday with the new prospective owner, John Textor, who is looking to sell his stake in Crystal Palace and buy Everton. And he pretty much made it clear that Sean Dyche here, has got a little bit to do to warrant keeping his place, and he gave the impression that if they do take control, they're going to want to throw some money at it, and whether or not Sean Dyche was the right manager or the right coach for the sort of players that they want to bring in. So I think there's a bit of pressure there, and as much as he's popular, you get a new American owner come in, and he's got to start from scratch. They lose this, all of a sudden, they haven't started anywhere near as well as I think a lot of people thought they might. Yeah. So, I can see Villa winning this. I think Everton are under a little bit of pressure at the moment. Yeah,
Branthwaite's not playing either. I don't know why they never sold him to United, took the 70 million or the 60 million and reinvested, but troubled times for the Toffees. Bournemouth-Chelsea, this should be a good game. There's rumour Cole Palmer is injured. Is that right, Steve?
Well, he was rested from the Nations League. Now, whether or not it was any more than just a little niggle, I'm not aware that he will miss that game. But again, it's today and tomorrow we'll have the press conferences. Okay. So until then, we don't really know. Yeah, I think that Chelsea will start as favourites. I think that the way they played at Wolves sort of suited their style, and catch teams on the break, which they did. They did very well 6 times. So I just think that Chelsea, for me, a little bit too strong for Bournemouth.
Yeah, I'll be going the goals route for that, Steve. One thing Bournemouth can do is score, and Chelsea are open gates, and they have a full go.
They have a go, Bournemouth.
Bournemouth aren't the worst. Big game Sunday, Steve. Tottenham-Arsenal. Be careful which way you go here. Who are you on?
Well, look, I think the thing that, I was talking to an Arsenal fan a couple of days ago. He's concerned because obviously we don't know how bad the injury is to Odegaard, but the fact that he was on crutches leaving the stadium, it doesn't bode well. And if they're without Odegaard, Rice, Calafiori, Timber, all of a sudden they're looking a little bit light, and Tottenham must look at this and think, look, they've got to give it a go. They can't afford to lose this, Tottenham. Start fall away already. So I think there'll be goals. But I just think without Odegaard and Rice, I think that midfield is not looking as strong.
All right, Paul?
Yeah, Phil, I agree with Steve. Once I saw Rice, Odegaard gone, they were 2 key players. Makes it very interesting. I think we're going in with a good squad. We're good at home. I think Van der Ven will come in.
Yeah, that's going to say
the high line.
Okay.
He's going to come back, and I don't know how they're going to start the front 3. I really don't know how they're going to start them. I don't know the latest in Solanke. I know it wasn't good 2 weeks ago, so who knows. But a tough game. I think both teams probably would walk away with a draw and say we didn't do any damage. Arsenal are away from home. We're hoping to beat them. It's one of those games, but you'll see the atmosphere. It's fantastic.
Brilliant,
fantastic. So a tough game.
Steve, I'm going to read you an interesting stat about the referee. One, he's Australian. So the Arsenal fans think he sided with Big Ange's team before in the A-League. I think it was at Brisbane Roar. I heard the Arsenal fans crying. His last 3 games he refereed for Spurs. Burnley at home, how many bookings? 8. In March, you played Luton at home. How many bookings? 7. You played Notts Forest away. 6 bookings, and he sent off Basuma. How the hell does an Australian get this game? It's his 3rd season.
He's sending off Basuma and things like that. I don't think he's going to cheat. Regardless of what country.
Because he was the referee for the Arsenal-Wolves game. Yeah. Remember, was it Mascara, the centre-half, stood on Kai Havertz,
Yes.
He didn't want to give him a yellow. They said it should have been a red. So the Arsenal fans are up in arms. He said Aussie and Aussie. So they've got this scheming. It won't work.
It won't work.
But there's going to be bookings.
He's not going to lean toward Ange Postecoglou.
Why not? He's at home.
There's no way. He's 100. Why would he send the guy off then? Why would he send Basuma off?
Away from home.
He dived. I remember his second yellow. He dived. He took a dive. They said, you're out of here.
So you know
what's his name?
Jared Gillett.
Jared Gillett.
Gillett, so very sharp. But he better be sharp for Sunday. Last game, Steve, Wolves, Newcastle. I think this could be an upset. Newcastle, several defensive injuries, and that Fabian Schär got sent off for headbutting the Southampton guy. Wolves haven't been too bad, Steve. At home, I think this has got an upset written all over it. How do you see it, though?
Yeah, I'm not sure about whether Wolves will win, but I think they could certainly hold Newcastle. Newcastle have won 2 and draw 1, but they've not been overly convincing in any of the games they've played. So it just does make you wonder. Wolves, obviously smarting from, they've had a relatively poor start, but they're obviously smarting from that defeat in their last home game. So I just got a feeling it could be, they could cancel each other out. We haven't seen the best of Newcastle at all yet this year. So, as I say, they've got 7 points out of 9 without playing particularly well.
Now this has got red card written all over. The referee's the same guy that sent Declan Rice off. So I'm sure he'll, there'll be far worse, because Wolves have got some hard men in that middle of the park, and Newcastle got a couple of Brazilians. So it'll be good. It could be a good game. Steve, on to the championship and Friday night game, Hull City, Sheffield United. How do you see it?
Yeah, it should be a very good. Yeah, it should be a good game. Sheffield United obviously had a reasonable start. Hull, I think people tip them to do a bit better, but obviously got a new manager. I think this could be a close game. I could see them sort of cancelling each other out a little bit. But I think at home, Hull are going to throw a lot at Sheffield United. But I can see this being a draw, low-scoring draw. Yeah,
I totally agree. 26-10 looks the right play. Big game in the championship. Leeds, Burnley. I can't believe Burnley are 4-1.
Yeah, I saw that. I think maybe that's because they feel that they've sold a couple of key players in the window without replacing. But even so, if you look at the way they started, 9 goals and 2 wins. But Leeds have come on strong a little bit in the last couple of weeks. But I think this will be a bit closer than the odds suggest. And 4-1. If someone was looking for a little bit for some value, that's not a bad shout. Yeah,
8-10, both teams to score. To me, looks a gift.
3-1 the draw.
3-1 the draw, yeah. Millwall, Luton Town. I can't believe how badly Luton Town have started, Steve. Can they get out of jail here by winning at Millwall?
I think it'll be tough. I think Millwall are at home, we know, are strong. Obviously, they have lost their opening home game, but I think Luton will be disappointing, even though they've lost 1 or 2 players, but they've still got the bulk of the squad available. But they've not performed at all. I think if they got a point at Millwall, would be a decent result for them. Yeah,
I just think they're in this premiership bubble. Last year they went to great stadiums, played good football. Now it's back to the grindstone, and that championship is not easy.
Good midfielder, what's his name?
Yeah, he went to Aston Villa, the Evertonian. Yeah, but they've still got Adebayo up front. So of the 2 teams, I like Luton, but until they start winning, I won't be putting any money on them. Oxford United, who got promoted, won 2 home games. The goal that they scored against Preston was world class. Can they beat Stoke again at home?
I think they can. I think that they've shown, that they can sort of adapt themselves quite well to the championship, and they played very well at home and won games. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if they get something out of this game. So for me, I'm sort of going against the odds a little bit and fancy Oxford United.
Oxford, yeah, I think it'll be a tight game. Stoke a hard team to assess. I can't catch them. On to our next page, we got Blackburn, who had a great result at Burnley against Bristol City, Steve. There will be goals in this, but who are you siding for to get the 3 points?
Yeah, I fancy Blackburn. I think that was a very good performance and a good result at Burnley. They weren't expected, and they've obviously sold Sammy Schmodix, but they've got goals in them, and I just think they'll be a little bit too strong.
Yeah, I've got to agree. Only thing is, Bristol City are capable. They do score away from home, but got to agree on the Blackburn. I think there's goals right the way through, over 2.5, both teams to score. Wouldn't surprise me if Blackburn win and both teams to score. I saw 28-10. So worth considering. Can Wayne Rooney open his winning record against Sunderland at home?
I don't think so. I'd be really surprised if they get anything at all. Sunderland 4 wins from 4, looking really good. Plymouth, they've been game in a couple of the matches, but I think Sunderland should go there and be too strong again and win.
Yeah, the only thing is that international break could have halted their momentum. They signed one of our Preston players, the guy that plays for Northern Ireland. I think it was Alan Brown. Can't believe Preston never renewed his contract. He's gone there, done a good job. Got to agree, of the two teams, I fancy Sunderland, but I think it's going to be a tight encounter. Middlesbrough, Preston. Give me hope, Steve.
Well, I think it's either Bob Hope or no hope. And I think for me, Middlesbrough would be too strong. Just aren't in a little bit of form. They've got the players, and I would be surprised if it's anything other than a hope. I think it'll be close, but I think Borough should edge that.
I just hope my new manager saves the better players for Fulham on Tuesday night when I'm there. So, and then I've got Preston, Blackburn on Sunday with my brother. So anyway, but I've got to agree, Middlesbrough, they'll be close to the playoffs again. 4-10 is short, so hard to really have a bet. Swansea, Norwich. I found the betting here quite strange, Steve. I know you were on Norwich last week. Great pick. 21-10 doesn't make sense.
No, I mean, I like Swansea at home, but I think Norwich, for me, might just be a little bit too strong. And it should be an entertaining game. They both try and play football. Yeah. So I think there'll be goals. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a score draw, but I do like Norwich.
Yeah, 21-10. I thought the betting should be a lot closer. Derby County versus Cardiff City. How do you see it?
Well, Derby have surprised me. They've actually done sort of better than I thought they would. Cardiff have had a really poor start, sort of rock bottom. I think Derby at home, they've won a couple. I think they might be a little bit too strong for Cardiff, so I'm sort of going with another home win.
Yeah, I was going to make them my best bet, Derby. I saw the highlights when they won at home. They beat Middlesbrough and Bristol City. Really good with 2 clean sheets. So 13-10 is in all my bets. Can't believe Watford are 18-10 at home against Coventry, Steve. I know Coventry aren't the worst of sides, but Watford has started well.
Yeah, Watford have won all their home games. I think there's a lot of value in that. And so for me, I think, on form, I think Watford should win this one.
Yeah, I think 18-10 is a great price. On to the last game on Saturday, Sheffield Wednesday, QPR. How do you see it?
Well, Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, they started off with a 4-0 win, and since then, they haven't conceded a hatful. QPR, you don't know what you're going to get from them. I mean, they had a fighting point up at Sheffield United, and I think if they play like that, they're capable of getting something at Wednesday. Yeah. So I would think, for me, a draw. I think QPR could get at the very least a draw. Yeah,
I went draw QPR and the Exotics. I agree. Both teams to scores 9-10. That would be my suggestion. And on Sunday, Portsmouth against a team I fancy to come up, West Brom. Steve, which way are you going?
Yeah, West Brom have had a really good start. Portsmouth have shown they can hold their own, but I think if there was to be a winner, I would go with West Brom.
Yeah, 11-10 on Sunday, but I'll be at the Spurs game, so unfortunately, I'll be following it on my phone. Steve, you've been in great form. Let's hope it continues this week. Need your best bet and value bet, please.
I'm going to go for Blackburn as my best bet. I think at home, I think they can score goals. My value bet, I'm going for Watford. I think those are really good odds. They've won all their home league and cup games, and I think they'll be too strong.
Yeah, I was going to go Derby, my best bet, but I'm on Real Madrid, 8.5-10 I saw. They're playing Real Sociedad. They've sold a couple of their best players, and their main anchor man got sent off 2 weeks ago. So I think 8-10, but if I had to have a bet in the UK, it would be 13-10 Derby County. And I totally agree with you on Watford, Steve. 18-10. I think the bookmakers are still worried about Tom Cleverley being the new manager.
I managed to get a photograph of myself and Steve over when I was overseas there. I don't know if our camera crew have been able to download the photo. Just if they can let me know. Is the photo available of Steve and I?
Yeah. I'll send you one next week, Paul, of Steve and I.
Yeah, we'll have a photo.
It will come up on the show. The producers just told me that you'll have it ready at the end. Okay, thanks, Steve. Thanks very much.
Steve, thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All the best.
Bye.
Thank you.
Right, on we go, Budge. PSL fixtures.
Yeah, Paul, unfortunately, Orlando Pirates, Sundown, Sekakun and Stellenbosch are involved in CAF. So there's only this week, next week, the second qualifying round.
Okay.
So there's only four games this week and 4 games next week. So
Right, let's have a look.
First game up, Royal AM, Cape Town City. Paul, I watched Cape Town City. In the MTN 8, they beat Sekakuna 1-0. They're a good team, but this has got 22-10, the draw written all over it.
Yeah.
You know, Eric Tinkler's still there. He's a good coach. This is games at Harry Gwala and Maritzburg. So the draw, unfortunately, Royal AM, last 5 home games, they never scored a goal. They were hanging on at the death. Of the 2 teams, Paul, I like Cape Town City, but the draw would definitely be my suggestion.
Okay.
Maruma Gallants, they bought Morocco Swallows, so they're in Bloemfontein. I don't know what to make of Kaizer Chiefs, Paul. They've got a new Tunisian coach. Who knows? Yeah, they only won one of the last 11 games. Their fans are positive. 9-10 looks a good price, Paul, but until they start winning, Paul, they're not the Chiefs that we know of our era.
No.
Polokwane, of the 2, I like them, Paul. They played in the MTN against Sundowns. Sundowns had a player sent off, but they fought hard. They got beaten extra time. Of the 2 teams, I like Polokwane, but you never know with AmaZulu. It's been quiet from their camp, Paul, which is normally a good sign. As I say, I like Polokwane, and I can't believe they got the betting. Richards Bay, their last 4 home games, they were in relegation trouble, and they won all 4. At Umlazi, they're hard to beat, and TS Galaxy got well beat by Stellenbosch in the MTN 8. I think 2-1 Richards Bay is a good price, Paul, but it's obviously first game. It's hard to know. We haven't watched many of the teams, so
Yeah, that's right.
really difficult.
You're right, Budge. What's next?
On to the exotics, Paul, and they're all on Saturday. And our first Saturday Soccer 6, I've got the field in the Royal AM Cape Town City game. I think Brighton will beat Ipswich. Crystal Palace will beat Leicester. Got the field in the Fulham West Ham game. Orlando Pirates win and draw against Juaneng Galaxy. That's a Swaziland team. And I've thrown the draw in with Kaizer Chiefs against Maruma Gallants, 216 Rand. Our second Soccer 6, I bank at Aston Villa to beat Everton. I've thrown the draw in with Sevilla at home against Getafe. Mamelodi Sundowns to avoid defeat in Swaziland against Umbaban Swallows. I've gone the field in the Polokwane City AmaZulu and Bournemouth Chelsea fixtures. And I'm banking Real Madrid to beat Real Sociedad 2-1-6. On to our Soccer 10. I'm going Cape Town City to avoid defeat against Royal AM. And Bologna win and draw against Cesc Fabregas Como. Brighton Hove Albion, too good for Ipswich Town, and Crystal Palace to be too good for Leicester City. The field and the Fulham versus West Ham match. On to the second page, I think Liverpool will outclass Notts Forest. The field in the Liga game between Espanyol and Deportivo Alaves. Kaizer Chiefs to avoid defeat in Bloemfontein against Maruma Gallants. Aston Villa to be too good for Everton, and Sevilla win and draw against Getafe 288. On to the Soccer 13, I've gone the field, in the Bournemouth Chelsea game. 4 bankers, Aston Villa to beat Everton, Crystal Palace to beat Leicester, Liverpool to beat Notts Forest, and Brighton to beat Ipswich. The field in the Fulham versus West Ham United fixture, and Blackburn Rovers have added the draw against Bristol City. On to the second page, 2 bankers, Derby County to beat Cardiff and Middlesbrough to beat Preston North End. Sunderland win and draw at Plymouth Argyle. Queen's Park Rangers win and draw at Sheffield Wednesday. And Norwich City to avoid defeat at Swansea City. Bankering Watford to beat Coventry City 288. Budgie's bets for the weekend. I'm going Brighton to beat Ipswich and both teams to score yes. I've gone over 2.5 goals, both teams to score no in the Liverpool-Notts Forest fixture. That's Liverpool to win 3-0, 4-0. And over 2.5 total goals in the Crystal Palace-Leicester City fixture, 3,400 to 200. Our team goals only, I'm going Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur, all to score over 1.5 goals, 2,800 to 200. On to the Championship, I'm going Derby to beat Cardiff City, Watford to beat Coventry City, and over 2.5 total goals in the Blackburn Rovers Bristol City match, 2,400 to 200. Both teams to score sides are Blackburn Bristol City, Leeds United Burnley, Sheffield Wednesday QPR, and Portsmouth West Brom, 2,200 to 200. On to Spain, I'm going Real Madrid to beat Real Sociedad, Barcelona to beat Girona, and both teams to score, yes, and both teams to score in the Mallorca Villarreal and Las Palmas Athletic Bilbao fixtures, 4,000 to 200. And our Collis King, 6 or Nixa. I'm going Brighton to beat Ipswich Town, Crystal Palace to beat Leicester, Liverpool to beat Notts Forest, Man City to beat Brentford, Derby County to beat Cardiff, and Real Madrid to beat Real Sociedad, 2,700 to 200.
Some nice bets there, Budge. I really like them. I like it 6 or Nixa, 2,000.
So there's no red cards, Paul. That cost us with Arsenal the last time.
That's right. It's always a danger, especially with Aussie refs. Yeah. So, Budge, that's it. You're all ready to go?
Yeah, all ready, Paul.
We go on with our last one standing.
Yeah, everyone has been given their previous selections, Paul.
Okay, so we know what to do. Let's see if we've got that photograph. That's it, Budge. Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Shout for my boys.
No doubt.
No doubt. And until next time, stay on side.